Well, good afternoon and welcome to Mondays with Michael Live here on Facebook. We are in week 10 of COVID. So I know some of you are really anxious to get back out there. I can tell you that Virginia went to phase one last week, and we were really happy about that. Because for phase one, we got to go out to the hair salon. So I got to actually go to the hair salon, and as you can tell, get myself all cleaned up. So it was actually pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool. Um, so today I'm going to start my four-part series on going back to work, getting back to work, if you will. It's going to be a four-part series. I've broken it down into four different segments. Part one today is all about the physical environment, getting the workplace actually ready to get back to work. Next week, we're going to do session two, which will be on all the legal challenges, because there are going to be some legal things that are going to happen inside the workplace that HR executives and small business owners are going to have to worry about. Part three is going to be the emotional health of your employees. Because let's be honest, this is going to be a tough time for employees to physically get back to the workplace if they come back anytime soon. And then the last session will be on remote training. What happens with remote training, what happens with training in general, but what happens with remote training. So we'll talk about that also. But today we're going to talk about the actual physical environment, the actual physical workplace. What do small business owners and what do HR executives need to think about? What do they need to prepare to do going into bringing folks back to work? So I made a list of things that I've heard from my clients that what they're thinking about. I'm also going to give you a PDF that you can email me for. It's from the organization called WeWork, and they have put together a nice 12-page document on some things that corporations are thinking about when it comes to the physical workspace. If you're interested in that, just ping me wherever you see this, or send me an email, and I'll get that for you. So things you have to think about. So how do you get the workplace ready? What are the challenges? What are the things you need to be thinking about? And my thoughts on the what we're calling the forever work from home, which I don't think is going to work. I don't think the forever work from home is something that organizations are going to do forever. I'm going to share a couple thoughts on what I'm hearing from my clients about that too. So the first thing, as far as physical workplace, this is pretty obvious, is reconfiguring your office. Being here in Northern Virginia, a lot of our companies had these huge kind of bullpens, wide open spaces, whether it be a sea of cubes or not even the cubes themselves. We work with some organizations where it's just one big room that has just a bunch of tables reconfigured, and everybody's kind of looking at each other, talking to each other. Now, in the old work environment where you're working with teams and whatnot, that was actually pretty cool, but the way things are now, that's probably not really cool. And the other thing is a lot of folks just left the workplace. They left all their stuff and they left. So how do you get folks back into the workplace to get their stuff? How do you reconfigure the office? And then do you consider rotating employees in groups? So you have an A, B team and a B team and maybe even a C team. And depending on where they sit, you may bring folks in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, another set of folks Tuesday, Thursday. And so they may not be working from home forever, but they may be working from home 1 or 2 days a week. We'll talk a little more about that. So configuring the physical workspace. Do you want to put plexiglass up, depending on what areas of the workspace you're in? Next thing is cleaning. Cleaning. I don't have to tell you about cleaning all the time. You must have a plan to be cleaning the organization, clean the physical part of the organization. Hand sanitizers need to be throughout the office. Depending on your situation, you may need PPE in your office where needed. I've seen some pictures of this UV light robots coming in and kind of UV lighting everything. But you have to think about cleaning before folks show up. You have to think about cleaning throughout the day. You have to think about giving access to cleaning supplies to your employees. And then you have to clean at the end of the day. So very much cleaning. Uh, Paper and plastic items throughout the office. And if you're working in a restaurant or retail store, you know this, everything's going to be paper for a while. So what kind of paper things do you need in the lunchroom and common areas of your organization? So paper, plastic. Temperature checks for your employees. We'll talk a little more about this in our next session as far as legal stuff, but you have to be able to at least attempt to temperature check people coming in your office and guests coming into your office. So if you have guests coming in your office, how are you going to temperature check your employees' guests and those types of things, clients and whatnot you have to test. bathrooms and elevators. This is going to be a challenge. So bathrooms need to be cleaned pretty much regularly throughout the day now, not just once or twice a day. What has to be in the restroom for employees to feel comfortable cleaning up with. And then there's the elevators. I saw a story that in New York, when they open up, they're going to let in one person at a time in an elevator. So what are you going to be your elevator policies as far as how many folks, depending how big your elevators are, can actually get into the elevator, which is going to be a whole new thing. Small business owners and retail. Now, for those of you out there supporting small businesses, and we really appreciate your supporting small businesses, it's very important as you open up, go back to your restaurants, sit outside if you have to, sit inside, social distance if you have to. Definitely support your small businesses. My advice to you for small business owners is to make sure your employees follow the state guidelines, wherever state you're in, masks, gloves, whatever it is. And please, if you're supporting small businesses, if they ask you to wear a mask in their establishment, please do. This is a time to support small businesses. We were out and about on the weekend doing our support as much as we could. So, and wear a mask inside if you have to. I know there's this whole debate on masks and whatnot. If the small business wants you to wear it, please wear the mask inside the business. Work from home plans. I do want to spend a little time working from home. You can't have this is my opinion, you can't have employees work from home forever. I talked to some millennials, and they live in these small apartments in some of these cities or these suburbs where they have, in some cases, they live like 3 in the same apartment. They can't work there forever. It's just not feasible. It's just not feasible. You have to worry about emotional issues and kind of being all by themselves, isolated issues. The other thing you have to worry about, and this is maybe more for large organizations, we tried to do this whole work from home thing about 20 years ago here in the Northern Virginia area. The Tech Council and the Chamber all got together, and we established that work from home was going to be a transportation strategy to take cars off the road. Until we found out about OSHA. OSHA came in, and they'll probably come in your organization to make sure you're meeting some clean standards and distance standards, but they may ask you some questions about work from home standards when it comes to employees working from home and the workplace. And that's what we ran into a lot of problems. We tried to do this last time. So if OSHA starts coming around, or state OSHA officials start coming around and looking at home workspaces, that may be a challenge for some organizations. I mentioned earlier, isolation can be a real issue. You have to think about those employees working from home who are social and like to be around people. This could be a real challenge for them. We talked in the past about mixing up some activities to keep them engaged, and you can use Zoom and other tools to do that. But it's very, very important to keep people engaged. But the other thing is to not Zoom somebody out. I mean, I've seen stories and I've seen employees that have a Zoom meeting from 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, Zoom, meeting all day long. Now let's think about this for a second. You would never Zoom or meeting out your employees all day in the physical workplace. Why would you meeting them out every day in the virtual workplace? Employees still need time to do the work that you're asking them to do, and they can't sit in meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting all day. Again, you would never do that in the real workplace. So why do it in the virtual workplace? So if you're a supervisor and you have employees reporting to you, again, they don't need to be in a Zoom meeting for them to be doing work. You give them the work, you delegate the work, have them do the work, and you come back later in the day for maybe a catch-up Zoom meeting. But they can't be in back-to-back meetings all day. They're just not going to be able to get the work done. And we'll talk more about training managers, but managers and leaders are going to have to learn how to manage a remote workforce. Even if you bring folks in staggered at a time, which will be good because you at least get some face-to-face time with your direct reports. Supervisors and leaders are going to have to learn how to manage a remote workforce. And there are a lot of great programs. We have some of them on our website you can check out about how to manage a remote workforce. Very, very important to do that. So this is my first, this is session 1. There is a PDF I think I mentioned earlier from WeWork I think was really, really well done about the physical workplace, digging into the air ducts and everything, what to think about. If you see this and you want to see a copy of that, message me and I'll email that to you. Our second session next week will all be about the legal challenges, testing, contract tracing, other legal issues, OSHA issues, and other issues facing small businesses as they begin to open. So do me a favor, please stay safe out there. Please support your local small businesses. It's very, very important that you do that. And I will see you next Monday. Mondays with Michael Live here on Facebook. Give me some thoughts on the beard. Let me know. I think I'm going to keep it for a while. Let me know your thoughts. Take care. See you next week. Bye.